Hey everybody, so I want to talk about a few things. One, I just got back. That's why it's so dark, it's late, and I'm really tired, but I wanted to get this out while it was still fresh in my mind. I spent the day with a bunch of friends down at a local mountain bike race, which was a USA cycling event, and it was a downhill event. So, downhill racers for mountain bikes. We have a transgender athlete who is competing in the women's division. This is a trans person who identifies as a woman, but there's a twist because I confronted this person. Unfortunately, I didn't get any video of it, but I did talk to them. I didn't want to make a fight or do anything crazy with it, but I just wanted to get a feel for how they think and why they're doing what they're doing. So, talking with this person, they claim that they are non binary, and y'all know how I feel about non binary. You're either one or the other. You're not, there's two genders, there isn't 87. You're either male or female. As we know, I'm a biological male. I present this way, and this is what keeps my brain functioning properly. So I can become a functioning, integrated member of society. This person identifies as neither trans or a man, but they're saying they are now intersex. And yes, there are intersex people out there in the world. It's a very rare condition. And when you're recognized as intersex, you have that decision. Your parents usually make that right out the gate because they need to know what surgery they're going to perform to make you either male or female, so you're not running around with both gametes. This person, I don't know the story. It's none of my business, but I do know that they are dominating the downhill series. They're going to win the championship, which is there's another one in 2 weeks. I will be at that, and I will have more footage. And we are protesting this person. We have tried to get some petitions signed and hand them to USA Cycling, but the rules are that USA Cycling allows trans inclusion all the way up to, but not including the pro level. So category one is like semi-pro, category two being like intermediate, and then category three novice. And they allow this person to go all the way to category one without any proof of hormone replacement therapy, surgeries, nothing. You can compete with just saying, I identify as a woman. So that's kind of where we've reached the unfair point because UCI cycling has changed their rules 100%. If you want to be trans and included, you have to have documents, paperwork showing you've been on HRT for X amount of years. They've made it basically so hard. They gatekeeped it, which is great. Made it so hard for the trans athletes to actually get into the women's division. It doesn't matter. So we're not having that issue in UCI anymore. It's a great thing. That's good news. USA Cycling, you guys need to get on it. Like, help the girls. Just because they're not pro doesn't mean you can't protect the women in category one, two, and three. One of my friends, a dear friend of mine, Lauren, she was racing this weekend. She crashed Friday in practice, trying to beat the times of this trans athlete who's come down from Oregon to our state, Nevada, in Las Vegas, and trying to beat us. But because the other girls crashed, this trans person ended up getting first place. They go by B Black, just B and then Black. In the video, I do dead name this trans athlete. I won't do it again. I know it's kind of disrespectful. If they are really trans, they do present very female. So the takeaway from the conversation I had with this trans athlete is that they really don't care that other people are not okay with them competing in this division. And it kind of bothered me. They were very nonchalant, kind of like, I confronted them nicely and I was like, hey, you know that none of the women or the ladies here want you racing in this division. You understand that, right? And then I got a blank stare and I said, I race and I compete in the men's division in my categories. Their response was, what bike do you ride? And I was like, well, it's a motorcycle and not a mountain bike. But regardless, I race in the boys and it's not a big deal. So I kind of left it at that. We'll see them in 2 weeks and see how it goes. My second thought of the day, I want to get this off the front of the video before we get far into it. Being out there, I cannot tell you how heartwarming it was with all the ladies coming up to me, and you'll see this in the video. There was a lot of women coming up to me when I was out there with the sign, Save Women's Sports. Some girls just didn't know, and other girls knew, fans and racers. They were like, I know what this is, and I appreciate that you're out here. I got a lot of love, you guys, and it felt really good. People were supportive of me because of who I am, what I look like, and how I'm trying to help women. The flip side of that is something that I want to touch base on, let everybody know that I do get hate from obviously my community. That's fine. I can handle that hate all day. But the hate that I don't deal with very well is feminists. Now, The part that bothers me is feminists do attack me. They don't want me speaking on behalf of women. Now, I've done videos and every comment was positive. They were always like, "Oh, Jess, we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you. You do so much." And the truth is how I feel inside. I don't do enough and I'm trying to do more. I was recently confronted by one who claimed that me doing woman face is identical and just as bad as someone who is doing blackface. Now, to compare my condition to blackface is that's appalling to me. I cannot believe they compared me to be someone who is racist, or basically she said in her words, "You don't speak for women. You will never be a woman. You're not a woman." On and on about that. They drone on for that for a while and then compares me speaking up for women the same as a white person speaking on behalf of black people. Like, blew my mind that they would go there. So the other point that people reach out to me and touches my heart as well, makes me feel good, is people come to me and they'll say, "I feel bad for you because your community looks like a bunch of idiots right now because of all this trans inclusion and the bathroom things and the sports and prisons." I can't stress this enough, you guys. I never, ever, ever want this to be about me. This is not about me and my livelihood. I do not care. People who know me know I'm well armed, I am well educated and well versed in martial arts. I can take care of myself. I'm not worried about my safety as a person. I don't want every person on the planet thinking that every person they see that looks like me isn't a cheater and an a-hole, someone who takes advantage of women or a misogynist. Like, that's the last thing I want for the trans community. But my main goal is to make sure people know I'm not doing this for me and to protect my community. I'm doing this to protect women. I swear to you guys, I never want it to be about me. And I can't stress that issue enough. So you're going to see footage of me when I get to the race. I made signs. I had a friend, we'll call her M, and she made a sign that said pro LGBT, not pro cheater. Okay, so that was a great sign. We taped them to our bikes during the final podium celebration. You guys, I got so much attention because look at me. My boobs are hanging out, big old tall, blonde, Amazon looking dude. That's how people see me, so I don't care. But anyway, so yeah, I got lots of attention in the pits. I got lots of attention at the podium. So did M. Her sign got good attention. I had tons of people coming up to me. "What's this about? Like, shouldn't you be like for this? Like, this is for that person B, right? This is for the trans athlete." I was like, "Yeah, this is for them. Like, we need to get this out of women's sports. Like, we need to save women's sports." And people would question me and say, "Well, what about this? What about third category?" And yeah, we've talked about third category thing a lot. On Twitter, I talk about it, but it's more like the third category is almost turning into a waste of time. The narcissistic, misogynistic trans athletes that are out there right now are literally not signing up for the open category that was designed for them specifically because they were complaining they weren't being included in the sports. And so World Aquatics banned the trans inclusion, UCI cycling banned the trans inclusion, rowing banned it. So those organizations that banned this, they said, "All right, we'll do an open category. That way it's boys, trans, and any girls or trans men that want to go in there. This is it. This is for you." Well, guess what? They started that mid-year last year. Not one trans person has signed up for anything. No, I can, and I am happy to report there have been some Pacific Northwest mountain bikers who are trans and are racing in the open non-binary category in like Cat 1, Cat 2, and Cat 3. I don't know if there's any on the pro level, but that's a good thing. Like, there's some other trans people out there with brains who know that maybe this isn't the best thing for women. So I hope you guys like the footage I got. I did my best, you guys. Like, everybody agreed with me, but nobody will say anything to the organizers because they don't want to get called out for being transphobic. They don't want to be called a bigot. And there is actually some repercussions that some of the organizers could take. They could kick these athletes out of the division and they wouldn't be able to race because they broke company policy by saying something about this trans athlete that's discriminatory. So that's why I'm there. I was actually going to race in the race, but I learned that once I'm part of the member of the organization, once I say something, then I'm in trouble and the organization could be held liable for whatever I say to that trans athlete if the trans athlete decided to press charges or something like that. So I have video of, like I said, the podium, me doing some commentary. I was shouting as best I could. I had another friend, we'll call her S. She was doing her best to let that rider know that she was displeased with his involvement in the women's category as well. So it's good to get voices out there. Felt really nice hearing from everybody that was like happy I was there, and hoping a lot of society believes that that would be like the end all be all. That would be all you would need to hear from someone like me, that you shouldn't do that and that the problem solved. But it's not, you guys. They fight me tooth and nail on it, I swear. And we're gonna win this battle. Like this, I said this too today, and two guys out of the blue came up and high fived me. They were like, because I said this is the hill I will die on, protecting women's sports. Like prisons are very important to you. Safe spaces, being like rape shelters, stuff like that, is very important to me as well. But the sports thing, I've talked about it ad nauseum. You guys know I'm an athlete. Like this is important to me. I need this to be stopped. We got to protect these girls. So hey everybody, it's Aunt Jessica, and guess where I am? I'm at the mountain bike races, and I brought my pink bike, and I also brought my sign because there happens to be a trans athlete competing here this weekend today, and we are going to protest them. So stay tuned. I'm going to try and get as much footage on everything that I can, and hopefully everything goes well. I don't want to start a fight with this person. I just want to let them know that we are aware and that we don't think it's fair that they compete in the women's division because we know they're not a woman. Okay, you guys, so here we are at the Category 1 women's division, and guess who's coming down the trail? A trans athlete in the women's category. And they go by B, which we don't know. Brandon was the original name. I just dead named a trans person. Oh my gosh. Can you guys believe that? Yeah. Yep, so this is B. Black goes by Boo. Need to be in the men's division! Cheater! Okay guys, I'm here at the UCI downhill race, and as you can hear in the back, the crowd is cheering. We're at the podium, as you can see on the other screen. This is not the women's division, but I have my sign, Save Women's Sports. We also have my friend Melissa. She did her sign says pro-LGBT and anti-cheater. So we're both here representing. There is one trans athlete who is competing today in the division for women's category 1, and they came in first place because the other two girls crashed and weren't able to finish during practice. So they were pushing so hard because they were trying to get ahead of the boy, and they crashed and DQ'd themselves, therefore couldn't continue. So he won by default, but they still got the victory in the women's division, and we know that's not right. So I will have some footage here of the podium celebration with him alone.
41 women 19 plus from Walton, Oregon, racing for PDX pedals. We at ODI, McGurra, 100% rental, Rhino Power, and GoPro. Let's hear it for P.
Okay, so there's B that identifies as a woman. We know that's a biological man, and they are winning the women's division, like I just explained. Not too happy about the celebration. I'm hoping that that reaction you just saw was due to them feeling so guilty that they're stealing trophies and prizes and positions from women, and hopefully they will compete in the men's division next time. They will be back here in 2 weeks. I don't know if they're going to make it, but if they are here, I will be here to protest this. I have support. I have other people with signs, and I'm doing my best to protect women's sports, you guys. I'm doing everything I can, and it's just so hard right now.
as always, you guys, thanks for tuning in and watching my videos. Please like, share, and subscribe. It helps a lot. We need more voices.